Okay, there are a couple of things I want to touch on from your answer. One, your book, Brown is the New White, as you well know, but also folks who have been reading me since then know that that book became a Bible for me after it came out because of the argument you were making. But the second part that I want to touch on in your response there is the demographic changes in the country. One big mantra to come out of certainly the 2016 election, but also in elections since then, is that demography isn't destiny. So talk to people who think that simply because the nation is getting browner and blacker, that that automatically means that progressive candidates or Democratic candidates are going to win elections.
Well, fundamentally, it's a question of turnout. And so it's funny because people say this thing a lot about, demography isn't destiny and it's not going to happen automatically. And I'm like, who actually says that and thinks that? I spend most of my time trying to argue with Democrats and progressives to see the significance of demography and to invest in it in a significant way. Joe Biden said on election night 2016, says, we're ahead in Georgia. That's not one we expected. And the reason he didn't expect it because they didn't invest. And so if you don't invest in the demographic revolution, then it's not going to bring about electoral outcomes. But it's a very incontrovertible data point that people of color are overwhelmingly progressive in terms of how they vote. Like I said, 90% of African Americans every election since 1976, when they started tracking this in exit polls, roughly 2/3 of all people of color, sometimes up to 3/4, vote Democratic and progressive, and which is not surprising in a country where the other party is predicated upon white racial resentment. So it really shouldn't be shocking people. But the failure to understand and invest and lean into and lift up the leaders and move resources to the groups trying to get people of color to the polls will result in the demography not transforming elections. But where you do that, as Stacey Abrams and Raphael Warnock and New Georgia Project and others did in Georgia, you will win a state that the president-elect did not think he was going to win, and you will transform the entire United States Senate by winning those 2 Senate seats if you invest. And that's a fundamental argument that I've been trying to make these past several years.